Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Patty from Patty Loves to Cook, and today I'm gonna be showing you how I make my birria de res, and you can also use this recipe to make the famous quesabirria tacos. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I make this delicious meal that my family really enjoys. Thank you for watching. So these are the ingredients that I use to make my birria de res. This is the meat I'm using. I am using beef chuck, whole beef shanks, beef boneless roast, and a few baby back ribs. I will be posting the amount of the pounds I use for each item. And then I'm also using some chiles, guajillos, and California. These are already, I cleaned them up already. I just threw them in some water. And then I also took out the seeds and some white vinegar, onions, Roma tomatoes. I'm going to be using one can of Modelo of your choice, some beef broth. And then over here we have some garlic, salt, ginger, hojas de laurel, bay leaves, Knorr chicken bouillon, ground cumin, some whole peppercorns, Italian seasoning, a little bit of abuelita chocolate. I know that sounds weird, but it's really good with that. And then here we have some allspice seasoning. I love using this because it already has cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon. Basically all the good stuff that goes into a good birria is already in there. The same thing with the Italian seasoning. It already has mejorana, it has oregano, parsley, thyme. So this right here is good because you don't have to have a bunch of little cans of, like the little seasoning bottles. So that's why I love using these two. And that's it. And then I'm gonna be posting how I make mine. So hopefully you guys enjoy my video. So in this pot, I added a little bit of oil, and I am just going to cook the tomatoes and the onions just a little bit. And then I'm gonna be throwing my chiles in there. So now that the tomatoes and the onions are cooked like this, we are going to add the chiles. We're going to give it a good mix and just let these cook together for a little bit. We don't want to overdo it because then the chiles get a little like burned and then they taste bitter. So we're going to cook them a little bit. Add the lid. Okay, so now this has been cooking with the chiles for about 3 minutes. Now I am going to add all the seasoning. Hopefully I can do this with one hand. So just throw everything in there. Give it a good mix. I'm also going to be adding just enough water so they can get a good boil going. So I use 3 cups of water in here. So just make sure that everything is mixed in. And you are going to let this boil for 20 minutes on medium. Just put the lid back on. So we'll see you in 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes, and as you can see, everything is fully cooked. So I am going to let it cool down a little bit because I'm going to be blending all of this together. So since my blender is pretty small, I'm going to be blending the birria adobo probably three times. So this is the first time. So I'm going to strain it. If you have a good blender, you don't have to strain it, but see, you don't want all of this, like all of this chile stuff. You don't want it because it doesn't taste good. I don't like this stuff like in my teeth when I'm eating birria. That's why you strain it. So let me finish doing this and then I'll show you guys the next step. So this is what's left on the strainer, and this is what you don't want. You don't want, when you're eating your birria, you know, like especially if you're gonna be eating it with the consomme, you don't want this in there. That's why it's very important that you either strain it, or if you have a good blender, make sure that you don't have none of this going on in there. So now I'm gonna show you what I do next. So this is the consomme, and now I'm going to add the beer in there. And I am also going to add the vinegar. Give it a good mix. And I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit because it's still a little warm, but then I'll show you the next step. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my meat, gonna dip it in here. And yes, my hands are clean. And then you're going to put it in your pot. Oh, I forgot, I also asked for some bones. This gives it a lot of flavor. So you just continue to do this until all your meat is fully coated with the adobo. So now that all the meat is fully coated with the adobo, I am going to grab the rest of it, pour it in. There. And I'm also going to pour my beef stock in here. I'm going to give it a good mix. Okay, here I added the rest of the beef broth and the rest of the adobo, and as you can see, I only added enough liquid to cover the top of the meat. You don't want to add a lot because it's gonna, the flavor of the adobo is gonna go bland. So just add enough water, enough broth to cover the top of the meat. And what you are going to do is you're going to turn it on high heat, let it boil, and then you turn down your heat to medium low and you cook it for 3 hours. So we will be back in 3 hours to see what it looks like. So it's been 3 minutes, and as you can see, there is enough caldo here. So now let's check the meat. Oh yeah, see? It's ready. So this will get a little messy, but it's okay. So you grab your tortilla, you dip it in that grease, put it back in here, get the other one, do the same thing, and then you flip it. Okay. Then you grab your cheese. I'm using mozzarella. It's hard to do this with one hand. Then you get your shredded birria meat. Like that. Then you grab a little bit of your consommé, you pour it. And that's it, guys. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and comment below if you want me to post more recipes. Thank you for watching.